Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, comrades of all kinds, thank you for joining me no matter where you're at across country or this big, beautiful globe. And there it is, folks. There it is. Completely deranged nonsense from Garry Kasparov. And if you don't know who Garry Kasparov is, it's in the title. He's a chess grandmaster. You can go look him up. He was born in the USSR. He came to the United States. I think he left. I don't even remember, but that's not the point. I'm going to read to you what he has to say because apparently it's fashionable always to attack socialists even when they're 100% correct. Even when they do something objectively great for humanity that will probably never be replicated by an individual. Right. So let's look at what he had to say. And then I'm going to read to you the responses because he is getting annihilated. People are running circles around this fool, and it feels very good. It feels very good. To see that on such a right-wing platform that even people who aren't socialists are like, dude, you're being a fucking idiot. Stop being deranged. Stop being reactionary. Stop being a knee-jerk jack-off. And pay the fuck attention. First off, you wouldn't be a chess grandmaster if it weren't for socialists. You wouldn't. Nobody would know you if it weren't for socialists. They wouldn't. So maybe have a little freaking grace, humility, and contrition. Try that for once. Some courage, some dignity, some honor that seems to be greatly missing from you. So I'm gonna go ahead and read it. Here it is. This was actually 3 days ago. Okay, and by the way, for a guy his age to not have figured this out by now, he's not going to. Garry Kasparov says, socialism is like polio. It comes back when people forget about the horrible damage it did last time. I got a question for you. Why are diseases coming back in the United States right now? Is that because of socialists or capitalists? By the way, capitalists that he criticizes all the time. He criticizes the ultra right, the far right, the hard right, whatever you want to call it, all the time. And he knows the measles outbreaks and the freaking detecting polio and this and that. That's smallpox. That's all coming from reactionary right-wing politics and beliefs. They're getting children killed. They're getting people killed. They're destroying lives. Now, I'm going to read to you the response to this, and they are sensational. I love the crowd. Movement to Socialism responds, a socialist cured polio for free, you dumb fuck. Which, by the way, is true. A socialist. Josh Olson responds, socialism eradicated polio, you fucking idiot. Nick Pettigrew says, polio was this 222,000 likes. Oh my God, he's getting ratioed by everybody. Polio was eradicated because Jonas Salk, a socialist, chose not to patent the vaccine if you want a perfect example of a socialist act. And we're not done there. This dude once said the feminine psyche is weak, cheated in a game against Judith Polgar, another fantastic chess player, one of the greatest ever, but didn't admit it and didn't speak to her for a few years after that, and then lost to her again. His behavior on the chessboard with men also clearly shows that he has autocratic tendencies. And for anyone who thinks that Garry Kasparov's smarter than you. Well, guess what? He's not smarter than Carl Sagan. He's not smarter than Stephen Hawking. He's not smarter than Bertrand Russell and Robert Oppenheimer. Yes, that Robert Oppenheimer. And he's not smarter than Albert Einstein. Adam Smith posts, Why Socialism? In 1949, an article by Albert Einstein. Why Socialism? An article written by Albert Einstein in May 1949 that appeared in the first issue of the Socialist Journal Monthly Review. It addresses problems with capitalism, predatory economic competition, and growing wealth inequality, etc., etc. You see where we're going with this, Gary? You never had a chance, buddy. You never had a chance. Daniel Finn said, never a bad time to remind people that Gary Kasparov believes the entire history of the last several thousand years has been falsified by a mysterious group of conspirators, so any lessons that he draws from the historical record may be a little eccentric. And I'm going to read to you what they're talking about. This is called New Chronology, or Fomenko. The New Chronology is a pseudo-historical theory hypothesis proposed by Anatoly Fomenko, who argues that events of antiquity generally attributed to the ancient civilizations of Rome, Greece, and Egypt actually occurred during the Middle Ages more than 1,000 years later. The theory further, it's a hypothesis, proposes that world history prior to AD 1600 has been widely falsified to suit the interest of a number of different conspirators, including the Vatican, the Holy Roman Empire, and the Russian House of Romanov, all working to obscure the true history of the world centered around a global empire called the Russian Horde. God, this guy is so racist. Reception from mainstream scholars has been universally negative. The theory was first widely disseminated in the 1990s by Russian chess grandmaster Garry Kasparov. Big swing and a miss, Gary. Big swing and a miss. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You mean, Stan Willenberg says, you mean in socialistic countries like Finland, repeatedly the happiest country in the world. Mike from PA, who misses a lot but gets him here, he says, it's so funny to use the disease of polio, whose inventor refused to patent his vaccine so that everyone would have access to it because of his socialist principles. You suck ass, Gary. Billy Big Ball says, because capitalism keeps failing the majority of people. That is why it comes back. Keith Olbermann even. America has been a hybrid socialistic since 1933. That profitable states contribute to lagging ones has been in place for more than a century. It is elemental of theoretical communism. It is an element, excuse me. That you have PTSD from the USSR is understandable. It is. It is. I mean, look, Stalin destroyed him. Don't mistake it for insight. Chuck says, but Benigma says, Gary Kasparov's social media presence is like herpes. An angry sore that pops up whenever he gets stressed out. Harvey Independent says, Social Security is our most popular program, but okay. Also, a lot of people would like universal health care. This isn't radical. Mo Maraka says, nobody cares about your 1980s view of the world. Go away. Tyler Moore says, cool, then don't use any socialist items such as Social Security, libraries, police, fire departments, schools, etc. The zombie says, is this socialism in the room with you right now? Beaufort says, wow, what a shame this post is. Bobby Fischer was better than you. Bobby Fischer was a famous grandmaster at the time, right? Capitalism is like an unchecked STD. It spreads when people ignore the symptoms, leading to the death of the middle class, as MC Diz. Cosmic Cowboy says, somehow I think a socialist economic system is needed. Seems to work well in China, where there are no bankruptcies due to medical debt and no homeless cities like in the U.S. And Enemy Within says, yes, I'm certain you're right. He's exactly like Stalin. Because Kasparov is referring to Zohran Mamdani. Okay, if people didn't get that. You're really smart sometimes, but sometimes you're really fucking ridiculous. Oh, Gary. Oh, Gary, look. I'd say it's your move, Gary. But that's checkmate. Is it not? Is it not? On this topic, have we not put you in a place where we get to call jaque mate, or checkmate in English? I'm going to leave it at that. You know what's up.